Hello, welcome to fasboyRambles by Fastboy Creative. Today we're going to talk about procrastination. So I think we probably all understand the definition of procrastination. It's when we determine something in our lives that needs to be done or dealt with, and we give ourselves lots of reasons or excuses that we're not able to do it, and because maybe we don't want to, or makes us feel uncomfortable or things of that nature. So we put it off. But the funny thing about procrastination is if you procrastinate things long enough, well, then I guess you don't have to do them. And if you're able to procrastinate something long enough to the extent that it doesn't need to be done any longer, well, did it ever need to be done in the first place? So my advice to you is, we've talked about lots of things, and I like to talk about, 6 ways to build success, and some of the things we talk about is building wealth and how to accomplish things and how to get things done. And procrastination in this instance is your enemy, right? Is you don't want to give yourself reasons to not get things done. But in the same respect, you don't want to get things maybe on your lists or in your queue of things that just don't need to be done. So my suggestion is, eliminate procrastination from your life, eliminate it from your vocabulary, and just don't do it. Now, we talked about if you've procrastinated something to the extent that it doesn't need to be done. The question is, did you ever need to do it to begin with? So some of the things that I've experienced over the years, is I have an office with a desk, and I have a large desk so I have lots of places to put different things that need attention at different times. So if I have something that's going to need attention in the future that I can't get to right away, that might go in one spot on my desk. Well, one of the things that I've learned is do not allow yourself to have stacks of things on your desk, because things that get put to the bottom of the stack end up to not get done. Well, that might be an inadvertent procrastination, right? But I have learned if you leave things in a stack long enough on your desk, eventually they spoil and they no longer need to be done, and you can just throw them away. So my advice would be, don't allow things like that to clutter your life in that way. A good example of something that can't be procrastinated, okay? You want to send a birthday card to a friend, and maybe you weren't able to get out to the store to get the card purchased, or maybe you did get out to the store and got the card purchased, and you just never got the time to fill it out, or you needed to track down their address, or you didn't have a stamp, or whatever the case might be. But there's one thing for certain: once the birthday has come and gone, there is no reason to send the card anymore, right? So if you've allowed yourself to procrastinate that activity until past the day of the birthday, guess what? It no longer needs to be done. So the question is, did it ever need to be done to begin with? So if it did, anything like a birthday, if of someone who's a friend or a relative or whatever the case might be, can be an important thing, and helping them feel good on their birthday can be an important thing to you. So if you've decided to send them a birthday card, you should get it sent. Another simple example, one that I've had trouble with in my personal life, is getting the Christmas lights put up. Okay, so we have a big Christmas party every year, and the lights in the yard need to be put up, of course, before Christmas and before the party happens. And if I come up with every excuse in the book to not get the Christmas lights put out, eventually Christmas comes, Christmas goes, and once Christmas has gone, there's really no point in putting the lights out again until next year. So my advice to you is, understand what procrastination is. Understand when something's important enough to get in your queue, and if something has been important enough to get in your queue, that you make sure that you do it. And this is one of those situations where you need to be honest with yourself. You need to know the difference when things are important, when they're not important. You need to understand when something's in your queue, where it's at in your queue, and that it needs to get done. And if you allow your queue to pile up with things that you're procrastinating, you're burning emotional capital, you're burning time, schedule, resources, things like that. You may not see it that way. But my advice to you is, procrastination is your enemy. It keeps you from accomplishing things, and just don't do it. If it's important enough to do, then just get it done.